So, my name is Russell Jennings. I'm here with my mother, Iris Jennings, today, and taking some time to talk about the creation of the family project and the community project that we're doing 508 International.
Well, I think it's a nice idea you have to perhaps explain a little history about how things came about with the land, how your father thought about land when he was in the army in Korea. I think he thought a lot about coming back to the States and maybe buying a farm.
And I remember as a kid walking through some of the fields, and he would always say, when I look at this property and I look at these fields, I see the opportunity someday to be able to build a nice country club and a golf course here where kids your age can learn the game of golf.
That's right. That's right. He did. He had great ideas about that, and when I met him and fell in love with him and we got married, he had just purchased a small farm, 90 acres in Charlton, Massachusetts. And he told me that while he was working on construction in Connecticut at the time, he would go around and pick up cans and bottles, and that's how he paid for the 90-acre farm.
And that's a piece of property that he found in Central Mass, being Charlton, when he decided to look for property outside of the Hartford area in Connecticut, and he stuck his finger on the map in the middle of New England and found Charlton.
And we saved our money, and we bought the next farm, which I think was roughly about 300 acres. And then I said, you know what, maybe you could start to build in Massachusetts, build houses. And he said, well, that's a ways out though, Iris. I said, well, why not try? Put one house up and see what happens. There's a lot of nice people in Charlton, and we were very pleased and happy to meet with them. So Gary put the house up first and put a section of road in Jennings Drive. And I went to Mr. Pickle and Senior, and I said to him, I'd like to, we're building a house and we're going to build more homes in Charlton, and I'd like to know if you'd like to furnish the house as if someone was living in there, in the spec home we called it at the time. Now they call it a show house if you're building a subdivision. And
you thought that would be a great idea
yes,
for both businesses.
Right. So I thought he would sell his beautiful furniture and we would sell homes, and he said he'd never heard of that before. So I said, well, would you like to try it? He said yes. So he did. And then Gary decided he was going to build in Priscilla Lane. That was the next subdivision. And we put in Ponican Hill, Deer Run, Meadow Lane, Pheasant Lane, High Crest, and Meadow. And you boys, of course, were in your teenage years at that time, and you did a great job helping your father and with the construction and putting in the roads and building the homes. You actually did all of that, all of you together.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So you did a great job. And then you decided that you would continue with Jennings Drive. So you started that. And then you had the wonderful idea of 508 International.
For a lot of years, we've discussed what to do with the property. We're home builders by trade, and that's what we did for a very long time as a family. We've thrown around several different ideas prior to actually coming up with 508 International. One of them was hops,
Yes, I remember that.
Farming hops on the
Yes,
property.
yes, yeah.
Another was potentially doing solar on the property.
Yes, yeah,
Naturally, we looked into housing on the property.
right.
And I don't think any of those ideas really ultimately sat well with us as to what our final thoughts for the property were. And we met Brent Salou, who was one of our business partners. And Brent and his wife have always been involved in power sports and motorsports. And so we started talking about doing things that involved motocross and four-wheeling and dirt bikes and everything power sports related. And that's when the project really started to just come together. And we decided to start permitting for off-highway vehicle facility and a campground at the time. That was the start. So we started to do all the engineering, and we sat down and just started talking about all the different uses that could actually take place at the property. Not only motorsports related, but baseball and softball and horseback riding, and you name it, just anything cross-country skiing. Anything someone would like to do in the outdoors. And it really, the project just seemed to light on fire and just come alive. And when we now realize what we're doing, I think it ties in exactly with everything we ever wanted for the property, being that it preserves the property within our family and within our business partners' families. It also provides a permanent place for people to recreate and do the things that we used to love to do on the property and still love to do on the property, whether it's hike or bike or enjoy nature or potentially build a golf park someday. I think those are all the creative alternatives that aren't housing, and they're a positive impact for the community. 508 International started as Sunset City.
Yes,
It was a name that was thought up by our business partner, Brent Salou, that tied in nicely with the farm
right,
that was part of the original property here,
right.
which was named,
Sunset Hill Farm.
yep,
That's
and
correct.
that's where we all came up with the name from.
Right.
As you know, the name changed from Sunset City to 508 International. And that was something that the owners and all the participants in the project, everybody who was participating in the project, actually sat down, and we spent months on the naming sessions and just talking about a new name that would fit the community, fit the group, and also just be big enough for the project. Originally, when we sat down and talked about the project, it was Sunset City, and we're thinking of it like a city. Then we developed out further, and so many people started to come to the project and want to participate in the project. It started growing. And then we said, what name would really be able to tie in the largest group of people that we know in the area? And that was really the area code, 508. And then going out further from that, because of the people who are coming not only locally but nationally to the project, we came up with 508 International. As we started to go through the permitting process, we would hit certain delays and just minor setbacks. All of those minor setbacks turned out to be blessings in disguise, because every time we faced a setback, we realized that we would have to seek out a professional or someone else to help us get through that. And in seeking out that person, the team would grow and get stronger. Once we started to get through the permitting process and started to look towards the actual build, we started to take on more community partners. And these were companies that could help us either with our equipment needs, like Schmidt Equipment, or Advantage Enterprises, Matt Gagner and crew. And even the material and the machines to build the project, that would come from a sand and gravel operation. We were lucky enough to find Hilka Sand and Gravel, who we had a great 10-year working relationship with already. And we found that they were very interested in participating in the project. And for me personally, I think that one of the biggest things I have learned from this project is how you need such an amazing team to do a project like this. And without an amazing team, you're going to fail miserably. And I can sit here today and say that 508 International is an amazing team. It's built with the strongest people around the table. We have a problem, we look around the table, we have a solution. Whether it's the owners or the business professionals we've brought to work with us, or the new partners that have come on board.
Well, I think that that's the important thing, when people work together and they all work as a team. That's how your father and I always worked when you were young, the two of you. He always said we're a team, and that's how you have to work at marriage as well as in business.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do that, you will have success. And it's important to give respect, like you did and you do, to your teammates, so that you all work cohesively together. Then it works out. It does work out.
One big message of the project is that all of the partners around the table feel that this is a project for all of the community to be involved in.
Absolutely, so, yes.
Whatever you're passionate about, whatever you like to do, whatever great idea you have, you bring that idea and that passion to 508, and you're able to start that. A lot of people have come to the table and said, I have this great idea. I think you guys should do this. And we listen to everybody and try and give everyone an opportunity to be able to do what they're really passionate about. And that's one of the big things that 508 is about. We're so excited about what's yet to come, because there's just so much to come. And the project just has gone in so many directions already. And it's a lightning rod, whether it be for sports or entertainment or job careers, just people looking for something new and creative. The amount of jobs that can be created by this project are really unimaginable. It's for everyone involved. It's changing everyone's life for a positive, and it is. The project has already created a very large number of family-sustaining jobs in just building the park, and these, the jobs will be necessary to continue to run the park as well, and to continue to build it over the years and change it from event to event, and just the impact on local businesses that it has already had is incredible. So we're coming up on our grand opening, and we're so excited about just opening the doors and being able to have people come to the facility and check it out and see all the work that's been put into the project for the past few years.
Right.
Whether it's the engineering design or the construction, and a lot of the partners that are coming to the table that are ultimately going to have their businesses here, or in the surrounding community, or are in business in the community, and they're coming here to showcase their business, or charities, nonprofits that are going to be doing fundraising at the property. Opening day, the Lions Club junior members, the Leos, will be doing fundraising at the property. They're our charitable partner on the day. So every event that we're planning to do has a charitable partner, has some form of art, has great food. So we'll have food trucks and a mini food truck festival, live music, and entertainment, whether that's motorized vehicles or maybe it could be Music Fest. All the events are slightly different and they all have those main components to them.
I think your dad would be very proud of both of you, really. You know,